Alrighty then, welcome back to Universe X, and today on this Labor Day, I don't know, I was about to say celebration, but I guess it's not really a celebration, it's just Labor Day. So, had a nice relaxing weekend, gonna get right back into it, and then I try to finish off the color reveals in the next 2 days, because it's a little behind on that. But today we are here, as the title suggests, to talk about the secret rares of the set. They just got spoiled, so we're just gonna go over each of them and then just talk about them a little bit, rate them a little bit, see if I can get your opinions in the comments. So let's go. Right before we hop into it though, like I always have to say, just because gotta grow this channel somehow, other than putting out content which could be more consistent. If you like the content, think about hitting that subscribe button, think about hitting that notification button, because I'm going to be uploading at least 4 times a week, maybe more. We got a lot of content just because it's a new set and there's going to be a lot of stuff to go off of. So that being said, let us get into the first card. So that is going to actually be, pull this bad boy up. All right, Vegeta Warrior from another dimension. I'm gonna say first and foremost, this art is fire. Xeno Vegeta infinitely looks better than normal Vegeta, if you ask me personally. But let's get into it. He is a black unison, no specified cost. Of course, ultimate, double strike, permanent. This card cannot attack if it has 3 or fewer markers on it. +1, activate main. You may place X cards from your energy into the owner's drop areas. If you do, place X cards from your drop area into your energy in rest mode. Then activate main. One of each color except, just one of each color except black. Draw 3 cards. Then this card gains plus 15,000 power in triple attack for the duration of the turn, and your opponent can only counter skills 1 more time for the turn. So, let's talk about this real quick. Like I said before, art looks absolutely fire. He's got the spirit sword, that's cool, but we're not here for the art, we're here for the effect. So it is cool that he is an X. Things that just have X as their cost, it's wonderful because you can play them at any space you can fit them, right? 1 energy, 2 energy, 3 energy, 4 energy, 5 energy, wrong. This man cannot swing unless he has 4 or more counters. Don't get confused with 3 or fewer, but it's 3 or fewer. So unless he has 4 or more counters, he is not swinging, which kind of makes it so that automatically Homeboy, to be effective, has to be played at 3 energy, and then you have to +1 him immediately. So he's still going to be a 3 drop. It just is what it is. Then on top of that, I mean, he's got double strike, that's tight, but activate main. He places X amount of cards from your energy into your drop, and then he puts them back in rest position. I mean, they balanced it pretty well in the fact that they put it in rest position, so you can't just play him and refund his cost. However, it's also neat to note that if you are playing a deck with this many colors, Vegeta instantly tries to fix his ultimate cost conditions by allowing you to dump your energy and then put it back up in whatever color combination you want. So that's something to at least look at. Now, looking back on the rest of this, draw 3 cards. This turn he gains 15 power, so he goes up to a 40,000, which is generally the normal for a secret rare, and triple attack for the turn. So I mean, that's potentially 6 damage if he connects, and your opponent can only activate counter skills 1 more time for the turn. So here's the thing about this guy. You won't be able to play him and ult him in the same turn, as far as I know, because that's an 8 mana investment. It just is. So what they're asking you to do is play this guy, let him survive for a turn, and then ult him next turn. Now, the hard part about this is that, 1, he's an SCR, he's a secret rare, so you can only run 1 in your deck, meaning you can't put another card under him to boost him up. So if you put him out at 4, there's a high probability that unless you have all the negates or your turn goes incredibly well, or you have a wall full of blockers, there's a high chance this guy is not staying at 4 for the following turn. And yes, he has a -0, but if your opponent lands just one attack on him, he goes down to 3, guess what? He can't swing. So there's no use giving him triple attack. So this guy needs to be played in an incredibly protected game state on 4 energy, or played on 3 energy and then protected for 1 turn after +1ing. Then you can try to go off with him. All I'm saying is I think there's a lot of hoops to jump through for this guy to do what he does. Like if he gets off, wow, congratulations, triple attack, dual striking, 40k, and your opponent can only counter once. So if you pop his ability before you attack anytime, yeah, your opponent might be in for a hard turn. I just feel like this is a lot to jump through, and with the color combinations, it's gonna be even weird to get a deck that rolls like that. I mean, you can have some 4-colored Vegetos. That's kind of cool. This might work directly in that. This might be some support for some 4-color Vegetos. But overall, this gets a little kind of hard for me to justify being my 1-of card in the deck. It doesn't do enough. It's very hard. And for a card that you can only play at 1, it needs to do work when it hits the board for me to want to, keep it in. So that is my thought for the Vegeta Warrior from a Different Dimension card. It definitely looks cool. If I pull it, I'm definitely gonna sell it. Moving past to the next one, this is gonna be a lot more simpler to explain. We've got SS4 Broly, the Great Destroyer. Okay, so Ultimate Barrier Double Strike. Activate main, choose 1 mono red sand card with an original power of 35,000 in your battle area and place it into its owner's drop area. Play this card from your hand, then choose up to 1 of your mono red leaders and leader cards, and it gains +1 or 10,000 power for the turn. Well, until the start of your next turn. So it'll go through your turn, it'll go through your opponent's turn. Then it has a permanent. All cards in your opponent's leader area, battle area, and combo area gain -5,000 power / combo power. Okay, so it's that last little bit that's actually amazing. So let's break down this card real quick. He's an 8-drop. Okay, that's cool. But being an 8-drop, he still is susceptible to a fair amount of counterplay, which kind of hurts. But Ultimate Barrier Double Strike. The first thing that's gonna kind of hurt me here is that Barrier is nice, and I guess because he has that permanent, you want to be able to keep him on the field. But I feel like with these secret rares, like been talking with a bunch of the friends, you want to see a card that you're trying to end the game with have deflect. You're trying to see this card go the crap off in a crucial moment and be able to go ham. And this without deflect, it's not really hitting it like that, especially with its cost. It really is susceptible to a lot. And then on top of that, like the other Broly secret rare, the Super Saiyan 3 Broly, once again, we're dealing with a Broly card that fits in a Broly BR deck that's not Broly BR. And I understand Broly BR never went Super Saiyan 4, but to be fair, and he didn't go Super Saiyan 3 either. So those are the only main things that I understand are kind of like, okay, look, Broly BR didn't go Super Saiyan 3 or Super Saiyan 4. These are Heroes cards. However, their main top ends for both the green SCR and this SCR are both for Broly BR decks for the most part, and that makes it really hard because you can't really search them out well. They don't have synergy with the deck. They just, well, they do, but they don't. If you see it, wonderful. If you never see it, you might never see it because you don't have any of your cards that are able to fish or anything like that, or even like play nice with it. The next part about this is, deflect. Not having deflect hurts. Barrier is okay. As a plus, the combo area -5,000 is wonderful because you turn a bunch of your opponent's combo power into 0s, and you turn their 10Ks into 5s. Their super combos are 5s now. This is a monstrous effect if he stays on board because your opponent's combo power gets shredded to pieces, and there's a couple of decks that can put this guy out fairly fast. So that's pretty real. So looking at the last part though, you get to choose a leader, and it gets plus 10,000 power until that's heavy. That's like 2 Senzu beans. So if your opponent's swinging with a bunch of weenies, they're going to have to try extra hard to get over your 25k leader now. Now the thing is though, it only works for a few decks. It's very limited in play. It's a 35k mono red sand. And when you get to that, there's only actually a couple of those in the game. So one, we have the SSB Gogeta Fusion Onslaught, which was from set 6, Destroyer Kings. The one that burns for 2 life. That could be a top end in this Gogeta deck, but the timing and the fact that the previous Gogeta says you can't use any battle cards, can't play any after playing this card, kind of makes it rough. But this guy is one of the targets. Mono red sand, 35k. Your next target that you can use is actually the new 6-drop from, the 8-drop from last set, the 6-drop from this set. And I mean, Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta, Technique Unchained. Now this guy can come down as early as turn 3. So in that case, this guy is actually pretty freaking good in the Gogeta deck, because he will come down on turn 3 and just attempt to, well, if you see him, and attempt to close out game that way, or at least be able to affect the combo power. He does a fair amount, but you can go straight from that Gogeta to this guy, just send him to the field. And the last one he works well with is actually SS Broly Unlimited Power, which is the top end of the other red deck that we'll be going into. I'm about to do the red reveal soon, and then like tonight or upload tomorrow, and then I'm gonna do deck breakdowns when I'm done with all 5 of the colors. So but those are only 3 cards in this entire game that you could drop this card. No, actually, sorry, 4. The Dragon Ball Heroes SSB Vegeta critical combination that gets played for 4 energy if your life is at 2 or less. But that's already kind of dangerous, and I mean, this is a card you have in maybe at 1 because you want to make sure that if you get in a pinch, you can play this card and immediately just try to swing for 6 damage. So that's real. But at the same time, it is what it is. This card is a little limited. It only works in essentially Gogeta decks and the new Broly deck, and it is what it is. He's got some powerful effects, but until we start getting it, his usefulness in this set is very limited, and his usefulness in future sets depends on how many red cards we get. Mono red sands with 35 power or less, and I'm sure they're going to kind of play around that. So there we go there. Now we're going to move on to the final one. And the last one we're going to talk about, it's kind of short, it's kind of sweet, but it is Baby Hatchiac. And it is the final secret rare from this set. And personally, I think it's actually the best, as simple as it is. Like I said, in the comments, let me know what you feel. But ultimate counterattack, if you have 3 or more energy, negate the attack, then play this card. Your opponent can't attack for the turn. Okay, so it is not just a Nimbus. You put this dude down on their first swing, just tell them no. The rest of your turn is not doing anything. Next, permanent. If this card would be removed from your battle area, remove it from the game instead. They did this so that one of Blue's mini bounce effects cannot just keep cycling this fog. If you guys play Magic, this fog. It's not even fog, because fog is kind of it, but like, you know what I mean. You can't keep recycling this. It's just not going to happen. Permanent. If your leader card is mono blue, you can choose one other card in your hand and discard it instead of paying this card's energy cost when activating its counter skill from your hand. So for any mono blue leader, this is why I think this card is going to be wild a little bit, because there are better secret rares offensively, but as a mono blue leader, this is a get out of jail free card. Plain and simple. Especially if you are backed by the amount of counter plays that are in Baby. Like, it's just unreal. Like, imagine, because this doesn't cost any energy, so imagine your opponent swinging for game and you go Baby Hatchiac, and you know they could be playing yellow and have a counter. They could have a counter like Cooler. They could be playing Invoker and try to hit you with the Royal Condemnation. They could be playing they be playing a fair amount of things, but you're Baby, so you have counters in deck. At worst, you could tap your energy for your monkey and add a triple striker to the board that counter their counter and kills a threat on their board. It's disgusting, and this card is not only good for any blue leader, but it's monstrous for Baby. It's just disgusting. It's a counterattack. He'll be able to search it with a couple of cards, or at least soft search it. He'll be able to play it easily. He'll have the counter to back up your opponent's counters. It's wild. This card is just generic good card. And its effect, I'm not sure if it should be a secret rare, but it is the only thing in the game right now that just looks at your opponent and just goes, no. Like, the rest of your turn, no. I will see my next turn. And sometimes that's all you need. You just earn those sticky points where you're like, half a play this turn, but my main plays in me next turn. And you just need a card like this to be able to shut it down and keep moving. So, that being said, those are all 3 of the secret rares for this set. I want to know what you guys think in the comments. I want to know what you guys feel. If you feel like I appraised anything wrong, or you have any tips or tricks to add, please let me know. But I want to know what you guys think, because I have them in order of worst to best: Vegeta, Broly, Hatchiac. Just let me know what you guys think. I love to hear your input, and I will see you guys in the next video. So thank you guys for tuning in. Later.